The hum of the damaged engine echoed through the small repair bay. Captain Ryan wiped the sweat from his forehead as sparks flew from the console. The smell of heated metal mixed with the faint salt of human sweat. He didn't notice the way. The alien girl in the corner froze. Her name was Karen, a scout from the Zerulus species. She had joined his crew only 2 days ago after they rescued her drifting in space. Karen's bright silver eyes followed his every movement. At first, Ryan thought she was simply curious about human repairs, but there was something different about the way she stood, tense. Her breathing was slow, controlled, yet her gaze never left him. Each time he moved closer to her side of the bay, she shifted slightly, as if resisting the urge to step forward. Ryan noticed a faint shimmer along the markings on her neck. They glowed faint blue, pulsing in rhythm with her quickened heartbeat. "Everything okay?" he asked, keeping his tone casual. She blinked fast, like she had just been pulled from a deep thought. "Yes. I am fine," she replied, but her voice had an unusual softness. Her hands were clenched at her sides, nails pressing into her palms. He went back to work, unaware of the effect his scent had on her. For Karen, the smell of his sweat was unlike anything she had known in her species. Certain scents could awaken deep biological instincts. Instincts she had learned to control all her life. Until now, every drop of his sweat seemed to call to her. Her senses screamed to move closer, to feel the heat radiating from him. The ship shook as another tremor passed through. A warning alarm blared in the distance. Ryan looked up, unaware that the real danger in the room wasn't the failing engine. It was the alien girl standing just a few feet away. Her body was beginning to change, slowly, silently, and she couldn't stop it. The ship's alarms faded into the background. As Ryan tightened the last bolt on the panel, Karen stayed near the far wall, her hands gripping the cold metal rail. Her glowing neck markings had grown brighter, and a faint warmth spread over her skin. She could feel subtle shifts in her body, her chest rising faster, her limbs feeling light but restless. It wasn't pain, but it was intense, almost overwhelming. Ryan turned to grab another tool, and his arm brushed close to her. The faint scent of his sweat hit her again like a wave. Her throat tightened, and she felt her pupils widen. She turned her head away quickly, hoping he wouldn't notice. But Ryan did notice. "Are you sure you're okay?" he asked again, more seriously this time. Karen hesitated, then nodded too quickly. "Yes. Just, the air here is warmer than I expected," she said, her voice lower than before. He shrugged and went back to work, but he couldn't ignore the feeling that she was hiding something. The way she kept inching closer. The way her eyes stayed on him when she thought he wasn't looking. Karen told herself to focus. She was a trained scout, disciplined and precise, but his scent was making her instincts louder with each breath. It was a scent her people associated with closeness, with something far more personal. She tried to distract herself, scanning the repair bay for tools or tasks. But each time she moved, she ended up closer to him. Her heartbeat was now loud in her own ears. She could feel the change in her body's shape, subtle but there. The ship shuddered again, throwing her slightly forward. Ryan caught her by the shoulders to steady her. The moment his hands touched her, a rush of heat shot through her entire body. Her eyes locked on his, unblinking. For a moment, the world outside the repair bay didn't exist. Neither of them knew that the next few hours would test not just their mission, but their control. The repair bay was quiet now, except for the soft hum of the engine coming back to life. Rain set his tools down and turned toward Karen. She stood with her back to him, shoulders tense, as if she was fighting an invisible force. Her glowing markings were brighter than before, tracing down her neck and across her collarbone like liquid light. "Karen," he said firmly. She didn't answer. When he stepped closer, she exhaled slowly, almost like she was preparing herself for something. "I need to know what's going on," Ryan continued. "You've been acting strange since we got in here, and now you're different." Karen turned, her silver eyes shimmering in the dim light. Her voice was quiet but heavy. "In my species, certain sense can awaken an instinct. It is rare, and it has never happened to me before." Ryan frowned. "What kind of instinct?" She hesitated, then looked away. "It changes. The body makes us more noticeable, more appealing to a mate," she admitted. "The scent of your sweat has triggered it." Ryan blinked, trying to process her words. "So, you're saying this is biological?" "Yes," she said, her tone firm but laced with frustration. "I have trained all my life to control my reactions, but now it is harder. It's not just physical, it clouds the mind. It makes decisions dangerous." Ryan's gut tightened. They were still in enemy territory. If she lost focus now, both of them could be at risk. But as he looked at her, he could see she wasn't lying. Her hands trembled slightly, and her breath came in short bursts. "I'll keep my distance," he offered. But Karen shook her head. "It won't help. The scent. It lingers in the air." The sound of footsteps echoed down the corridor. They weren't alone anymore. Ryan reached for his sidearm. Whatever was coming, they'd have to face it together, no matter what her instincts demanded. The footsteps grew louder, echoing against the metal walls of the repair bay. Ryan motioned for Karen to take cover, but she didn't move. Her silver eyes locked on the door, her breathing fast. The glow along her markings shifted from blue to a fierce golden hue. She was no longer just reacting to his scent. Her body was in full biological overdrive. The door burst open, and two armed mercenaries stepped inside. Ryan raised his sidearm, but Karen moved faster. She crossed the distance between them in a blur, her heightened reflexes far beyond what he had seen before. Her movements were sharp yet fluid, almost predatory. One mercenary fired, but she twisted aside, her claws slashing across his weapon, sending it clattering to the floor. Ryan covered her from behind, taking down the second attacker with precise shots. The fight was over in seconds, but the danger hadn't passed. Karen stood in the middle of the bay, chest heaving, her gaze drifting back to Ryan. Her instincts were pulling her toward him, even stronger now. She fought to keep her voice steady. "This is why my kind avoids contact during the heat phase. We lose focus, we act without thinking." Ryan stepped closer, ignoring the tension in the air. "You didn't lose focus," he said quietly. "You saved both of us." Her eyes softened, but the glow along her markings still burned brightly. "I saved you because I wanted to," she admitted. Her words carried a weight he couldn't ignore. It wasn't just biology anymore. Something deeper had formed between them. The ship's intercom crackled with a warning. More enemies were approaching. Ryan grabbed his tools and weapon. Karen moved to his side without hesitation. They were still surrounded, but now there was something unspoken binding them. As they left the repair bay together, Ryan wondered if her feelings were real, or if they would fade when the scent was gone. Either way, the next battle would decide everything.